Good morning, students. Today we are going to talk about the chapter Communication Skills. In this chapter, we will deal with the topics meanings of communication, importance of communication, different types of communication, and at last, the communication process. Okay, so, communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you are willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. This is called by brain tracing. That means communication is a skill that you can learn, like riding a bicycle. So, in order to ride a bicycle, we need a skill. We should learn or we should know how to ride that bicycle. So, we need some practice. Then only we can ride a bicycle properly, right? Like that, in order to learn or in order to be fluent or in order to communicate properly, then we need some skills and also we need practice. Okay, so communication, the meaning of communication. In simple words, communication means the sharing or exchange of information, ideas, or feelings. Okay, that is what communication means. We communicate our ideas or we share our ideas, information, thoughts, or whatever we want to communicate. We communicate it from one person to another. Sometimes we share our information or thoughts to more than one person or to a group. That means communication is a two-way process. In communication, a sender and a receiver is there. The sender is the person who sends the message and the receiver is the one who receives the message. So, communication is a two-way process. Okay, then communication is the art of giving, receiving, and sharing information in their own words, talking or writing, and listening or reading. So, we communicate daily, we communicate. We share our ideas or information or thoughts to others, right? In our own words, in our own ways. Sometimes we send messages, sometimes we talk, or as well as we listen to others. We share our ideas as well as we listen to others also. Okay, then good communicators listen carefully, speak or write clearly, and respect different opinions. So, listening is a very important part in communication because we should listen properly, then only we can understand the message clearly and give the reply correctly. So, listening is very important. We should listen properly. When we listen to a person, or when we are standing in front of a person, or when we are talking to a person, or when a person is talking to you, at that time, we should listen carefully. Then only we can understand the entire message or information clearly, and after that, we can send or we can give the correct reply to that person. So, listening is very important in communication. Next is different types of communication. There are different types of communication. They are verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and visual communication. The first one is verbal communication. Mostly we use verbal communication. In verbal communication, we use words to express our ideas, thoughts, or information to others. Next is non-verbal communication. Here we use gestures or actions or facial expressions in order to convey our ideas or thoughts. Sometimes we use our hands or we use our facial expressions in order to communicate ideas. But this type of communication is limited, or it is not very well. In this communication we can't communicate properly because facial expressions or hand movements or gestures, all those are limited. We need a language, or we need words in order to communicate our ideas properly. Next is written communication. Written communication means we share our ideas or thoughts in the form of letters. We write letters, reports, circulars, telegrams, or memos in order to share our ideas or thoughts. The last one is visual communication. Visual communication means the use of visual elements in order to convey our ideas and information, like drawings, illustrations, any other electronic resources. All these, we can use all these visual elements to convey or to share our ideas, thoughts, etc. Okay, so these are the different types of communication: verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and visual communication. Next is importance of communication. So communication is very important in a person's life, right? It helps us to share our thoughts and feelings as well as to understand others' thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. So communication is fundamental to the existence and survival of humans. Okay, we are humans. Daily we have something to share with others, and we use language, we use words in order to, or sometimes we use the other types of communication or other methods like non-verbal or visual or written communication in order to share our ideas, views, facts, feelings, emotions, etc. So it is the process of creating and sharing ideas, views, facts, feelings, etc. among the people to reach a common understanding. So communication is very important in the life of humans, or for the survival of humans. Communication is important. Next is communication skills. So communication, in order to communicate properly we need some skills, right? So communication skills are the abilities we use when giving and receiving different kinds of information. So skill means our ability. So communication skills are the abilities, those are our abilities to communicate, to give our ideas and thoughts as well as to receive different kinds of information. Some examples include communicating new ideas, feelings, or even an update on your project. All these are your skills. The way we communicate a new idea or feelings, we need some skills in order to do all these things in a proper way, or make the other person understand what you actually mean. Okay, next is communication skills involve listening, speaking, observing, and empathizing. Okay, we should listen, we should speak, we should observe, and also we should empathize. All these are different skills. Okay, it is also helpful to understand the differences in how to communicate through face-to-face interactions, phone conversations, and digital communications like email and social media. All these communication methods are different. Face-to-face interaction, in face-to-face interaction we can see the face of other person, we can understand their emotions or feelings, because we can see their face. Okay, so we can clearly understand their reactions. The second one is phone conversation. it is a verbal conversation or it is an oral conversation. There we can't see the face of the other person. We can only hear their sound. So that is different from face-to-face interaction. In the case of face-to-face interaction, we can see the face of the other person. Next is digital communication, like email and social media. We send emails to share our thoughts or ideas, and in social media platforms like WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we use all these methods or all these digital communication ways to share our ideas or thoughts. So communication or the communication skills will help you to understand the differences in all these, how to communicate through all these methods. Okay, next is the communication process. This is the last one. Okay, so when a person decides to convey an idea, fact, opinion, emotions to others, he sets the communication process rolling. So communication process, it is a process. So mainly a sender and a receiver is there. Sender is the one who sends the message and receiver is the one who receives the message, and in between the sender and the receiver some process is there. Okay, so first is sender. We can call the sender source. Okay, so sender or the source is the one who generates the message and conveys it to the receiver. That means sender is the person who starts the communication. Next is encoding. Encoding means the message generated by the sender is encoded symbolically, such as in the form of words, gestures, pictures, etc. before it is being conveyed. Okay, so before the message is being conveyed, it is encoded symbolically in the form of words, gestures or pictures. Okay, that is encoding. Next is message. That is the main thing. Message is the idea or information sent by the sender. So it is the idea, fact, information, etc. that is sent by the sender, or the opinion, idea or fact we want to send to the other person. Okay. Next is channel. Channel is the medium. We can call the channel or medium. We can call it as medium also. It is the link that connects the sender and the receiver, or it is the medium through which the sender sends or transmits his or her ideas or messages. Next is receiver. Receiver is the one who receives the message. Okay, that is receiver, for whom the message was sent by the sender. For this particular person, for this receiver, the message was sent by the sender. Okay, next is decoding. Decoding means to understand the message properly. At last, feedback. Feedback is the reaction or response of the receiver. Okay, that is the